G'day guys, welcome back to another video, product spotlight info. Grant from Four Wheeling, thanks for joining us. We're out here at Lidsdale State Forest this morning and I just want to share with you a new product that I've purchased, which I believe will help my camping setup be that little bit next level. I know a lot of people use the phrase game changer, and a lot of people don't like the game changer phrase because it's used on everything. I'm not going to use it here today, but let's just say this will change the game. What it is a stretcher bed. So I've always used my swag just straight on the ground. However, in certain circumstances, if you're camping in sandy areas, the condensation through the night, you tend to get sand stick to the bottom of the swag the next day. Makes rolling it up a bit harder. As you roll, you've got to sort of wipe it down with a rag or a towel or something like that, because you're effectively rolling that dampness onto the canvas. So as you're rolling it up, you're actually wetting the canvas. If you don't roll it out, then when you get home, it leads to mold and all sorts of issues there. So ideally, you want to try and keep the bottom of your swag as dry as you can. There are mats that you can put down as well, those mats that are designed to let the sand fall down through them. But again, it just depends on how the weather is when you're camping as to how much moisture ends up on your swag. So I've been looking around a little while to find one that's going to be wide enough to hold my swag. Mine's the June Barwon double swag, so it's about 100 mil or 4 inches narrower than, say, the King's Big Daddy Deluxe. I think they're 1550, my swag's about 1450 from memory. There's not a lot of double swags on the market, so the only one that I found online was a Dachi version, and they were 400 bucks, I think, from memory, which is a lot of money. It's dearer than a lot of the swags. It's actually dearer than what that swag was. So I thought surely they can't be the only company that make them. So I did a bit of Googling and I found a company online, Quest Outdoors. They do a fantastic range of camping gear. So lights, tents, stretchers. They don't do swags, or not that I could see on their website when I ordered this, but they do a lot of really good budget-friendly camp gear and their quality seems really good. So I contacted them about doing a video on one of these stretchers. They don't have anything on YouTube. They are on Facebook and I think Instagram, but they don't have a big YouTube presence. So I sent an email anyway, back and forth with Chris, one of the sales guys. Now these stretchers are 110 centimeters wide or 1100 mil. So it is going to be just shy either side of my swag by roughly 150 mil, but you'll see when I set it up in a minute, I don't tend to sleep on the very edge of the swag anyway. Most double swags, they are notorious for the sides, the mesh sides sagging in on you when you're sleeping, and a lot of people try and hold them out as wide as they can so that you don't have the mesh on your face when you roll over through the night. Obviously, if you've got 2 or 3 people in a swag, then yeah, someone is going to be right on the outer edge, but I don't think it's going to be an issue for me. So full disclaimer, I did pay for this. They did give me a discount off it. I paid, I think it was 100 or 110, I think, from memory. All orders over $100 is free postage anyway, and I think at the moment that's on their website at about 140 bucks. So they did do it a little bit cheaper, obviously in return for my review of it, and it's an honest review. As I said, I've paid for it. If I like it, I'll let you know. If I don't like it, I'll let you know in the same manner. So full disclaimer, I have paid for it, albeit at a slightly discounted rate. Just letting you know that. So I'll set it up. The specs on it seem really good. Simple fold out design. They're 2.2 meters, I think, in length, which is more than enough for most swags on the market. And it takes up to 200 kilos, so sturdy enough for even the bigger campers out there. So anyway, I'll set this up and then I'll throw the swag on and show you what sort of room's in it. Comes in a really good quality, heavy duty bag as well, which helps to keep it protected and out of the weather. Now hopefully we're not in too much shade here, We've come out this morning and it's already starting to get quite warm, so just bear with us. I am filming this in the shade. So a few of you with a bit of an eagle eye may notice it's got a few little dust patches on it. I did pull it out of the box just to check it out first. That was about a week ago, and we were just waiting on a bit of cooler weather to come up, but obviously the weather's not getting any cooler. All right, so you can see it's a really easy, excuse my back, it's a really easy setup. As you can see, it's quite large too. It's a good size stretcher. Now there's two little bars that come with it, which I'll just put in. They go in the ends, which I like that simple design. With most stretchers, generally to pull the material tight, you've sort of put a bar through and it's got a hole in each end, and you've got to sort of hook it over and catch onto a section that sticks out, and often they are under a lot of tension, so they're quite difficult to get in. This style, you simply slide the bar through and it just sits down in that groove. There, one on this side. Like so, and that obviously tensions the material to keep it nice and tight. And this one through the other end. Now these stretchers would be great even if you just wanted to throw a sleeping bag on it underneath your awning, if you don't want to go to the extent of a swag. They're quite versatile in that sense. So flat bar at this end, simply pull the material this way so that it pulls it tight. The biggest reason I went with this option, as I said, mainly because it was large enough for a double swag, but like the Darchie, this one hasn't got a centre bar down through the middle. And the thing with the centre bar is, when you are laying on there, even though I've got a 50mm mattress and I've got another small topper mattress on top, if you've got a centre bar there, you'll be able to feel that through the mattress. This one hasn't got that. The way the design is, they've got a really sturdy centre leg section, which negates the need for that bar down the guts of it. So that's it there. As you can see, really good size. It's got hooks on the end so that if you do use a smaller design swag, you can actually hook these into your swag just to hold your swag onto it. I couldn't see it being an issue unless you're in a high wind area. You wouldn't need to put your swag onto the bed, but the provision's there, so they're really good. You've got a little storage pocket as well, so if you did want to put anything in there outside of your swag, or if you were sleeping on it just in a sleeping bag, obviously you've got a little pocket there. You could put your keys, wallet, phone, whatever. Little padded flap material there just to cover up the metal on the side, so really good. I really like that. Good sturdy design too on the underside. As I said, it's got a 200 kilo rating, so if you have a look around, not a lot of stretchers will hold that sort of weight. I think most of them max out at about 120 or 150 generally. But yeah, that's awesome. All right, I'll roll the swag out on here and I'll show you what sort of coverage it does. So you can see there, even without setting the swag up fully, that gives you an idea of how much overhang we've got. So that's probably 4 inches, roughly, maybe 5 inches, 125 mil. A little bit less that side, obviously, because the car's there, but if you centered it, you've got, yeah, roughly, I'd say probably 100 mil, 110 each side in reality, not in paperwork measurements, but in reality. I'll set this up quickly and then we're going to have a coffee and a bit of morning tea. It's starting to warm up. just had to swap that battery over. Alrighty, so there it is set up on the stretcher. Now, down this end, I've got probably between the end of the bed and the end of the stretch, maybe 6 inches, roughly, 150 mil, and then a little bit of overhang on the sides, and that's touching down this end. So I said there's clips here that you can hook onto your swag if you wanted to, I guess up to there or down here, and then you can pull it down like a cam buckley type thing, but I don't see the need to in normal camping circumstances. But yeah, that's actually a really good size. I said the amount that's overhanging on the sides wouldn't be an issue because you're normally in the center of the swag anyway. So what I'll do, I'll spin it around because naturally the zipper's that side, but I'll spin it around and open it up and see what it's like inside. Oh, I can never pick which bloody end it is. That is the only downside to this swag, is it only has one opening on one side to get in and out, so you always have to make sure you've got it in the right spot when you set up. All right, so again, it's touching this end. You can see there what sort of distance you've got. There's plenty of room in the length of it, and there's not a lot overhanging on the sides. Just trying to sort of get it fairly central so you can see. All right, let's have a look inside. All right, let's check out what it's like. All right, so a couple of reasons for the stretcher. As I said previously, rolling it up with damp sand, wet grass, etc., that's a pain. Second main reason, and probably more so, that I've wanted to get up off the ground is the last couple of camp trips I've found, especially up around Lithgow up this way, it gets very cold overnight, and the last camp trip I did, I got up in the morning, rolled on my hands and knees. As I went to sort of stand up in the swag, I leant on the pole at the end there, and normally I'm conscious of it. I leant a bit too hard and I actually snapped the pole, so I had to go and buy another set, 25, 30 bucks or something at Anaconda. So it's a lot easier to get up of a morning when you are a bit higher up off the ground. And even simple things like putting your boots on, you either have to sort of stand up in the swag. Normally, if it's on the ground, you've got to stand up, grab your boots, hold onto something to slide your boot on. It's just one of those niggling little things, and that's why I snapped the poles last time I camped. Here, you've got your boots on the ground or even in your swag. You basically can roll out of your sleep position, throw your legs out, gives you a minute or two just to sort of wake yourself up, get ready for the day, get prepared for the day, and you can grab your boots and simply slide them on in this seated position. I've got the hiccups now. In this seated position, it's just a lot easier, and that was probably one of the main biggest reasons, was just to get up off the ground, make it a bit easier to get up of a morning. Getting a little bit older now, so but yeah, really good. As I said, boots can go by the side. I've got a little, I think it's an ARB miniature swag tent bunker thing that you can actually put your boots in to keep snakes and spiders out of a night. So obviously if I do have that with me, I can just put it outside there on the ground. But even a plastic shopping bag, whatever, if you've got a bit of mud on your boots, you can always throw them in a bag, put them inside here. But yeah, let's see how we are for comfort. Oh yeah. Oh, That is good. Oh, I could actually have a sleep, I think, right now. That's really good. Plenty of room. Now, as far as the sides go, as I said, you can see the bar is basically in line there. So unless I tend to roll and sleep right on the very edge here, you're not going to feel the side bars. And the best thing is there's no center bar running down under my back. So it's just a nice big flat, very comfy, squashy, spongy sort of feel underneath. That's actually really good. That's brilliant. Plenty of room. As I said, even on this side, I can feel the bar is maybe that far in from the side. Again, I'm never going to roll right to that very edge. When I sleep, I tend to sleep in the middle on my back. If I roll over, I'm staying fairly central anyway. I often sort of shuffle in my sleep. I'll shuffle across to the middle of the swag, so I can't see those two sidebars being an issue. When I spoke to Chris via our emails back and forth, he did say that he couldn't guarantee that the swag would fit on there. And that's obviously why he said if I was happy to purchase one anyway, he'd do it at a little bit of a discounted rate to try and help me, and it helps them to showcase their products a little bit better on YouTube. So yeah, I really like that. That's money well spent. Now if you picture morning scenario, wake up, have a bit of a minute or two to get your thoughts, grab your boots, slip them on, and away you go. It's going to be so much easier camping from now on. I've got a trip coming up in September up on the far north coast, so I'll be really keen if I don't test it out before then. That's 3 nights up there. If I don't get a camp or 2 in before then to really test it out, I'll give it a good rundown up there, that's for sure. So yeah, that's brilliant. Really happy with that. And again, getting up out of bed, straight up and away you go. So the frame itself is 25 by 25 mil powder coated steel, and then it's a 600D polyester material for the actual bed, and a high strength mesh insert around the handles on the sides where the bars meet. And as I said, it's got a 200 kilo weight rating, so more than adequate for a single person or even 2 people. By having it up on the bed like that, as you can see here, there's no sand underneath the swag. If this was on damp grass or damp sand, that sort of thing, you're kneeling down on that as well. So the longer it takes you to roll your swag up, the more your knees get wet, your pants get wet. It's just not ideal. Having it up off the ground like that means that it's so much easier to roll it up dry and clean. And even here, look, when I lay down on this, how much room I've got around me in both width and length. So even on a hot summer's night, if you didn't want to go to the trouble of rolling your swag out, I can't see any issues with just rolling a sleeping bag out on the top. You could lay on it like a normal bed, and underneath an awning, you're out of the weather. You've got a really good sleeping platform up off the ground, so away from snakes and spiders, that sort of thing. I think this is just fantastic. The legs in the center add that extra strength and support by the way they're designed with the light blue section there. Just stiffens the whole thing up. All right, so I will now fold this up, and you'll see how easy it is to pack away. So cool, really impressed with this. So each end in to the center like so, and then simply folds down towards the ground, and these legs sort of tuck in as you go. Just got to take that bar out of each end, which I almost forgot. That one, another one that end. That is worth noting, if you are going to pick this up and move it around, don't grab it underneath these bars. I did that when I first set it up, and I went to move it, and as soon as you do lift up on this, they tend to want to pop out. Not a big deal, you got to just push them back in, but yeah, if you are going to lift it, grab it by the sides, and that way it stays intact. Nice little plastic feet there too with ribs on them, so obviously it gives you a bit of grip on the ground. And then yeah, so they just basically fold downwards, towards the ground like so. Actually, I'll spin it around that way a little bit so you can see it. So they fold down like so, and as you can see there, the sides sort of tuck themselves up and out of the way, so then it's like basically a V shape, and then they just fold around. So super easy, super compact. I think the weight was 20 kilos, I think, from memory. I don't know if it says it on the tag here. If not, I'll put an overlay above on the screen. No, it doesn't say, but pretty sure I did read somewhere they're about 18 kilos or 20 kilos or something, so not too bad. I'll just throw that on the back of the ute with a swag or across the back seat. It does fit the full width of my car, so easy enough to put in your camp setup, ute, wagon, you know, up on the roof racks, whatever. So that's it, that's done. How simple is that? So there we have it, folks, folded up, packed up, ready to go. It's just got to go back in the bag with the bars. And I did forget at the start to mention the specific model. It is called the Quest Crossbow Stretcher. So be sure to check out their website. I'll put all the details below in the link. There's no affiliation. I don't get any commission or kickback if you do follow through from that link. So feel free, if you want to have a look at their site, check out all their products. They do some really good little LED camp lights. They do one that's got a built-in speaker, I think a Bluetooth speaker as well, so you can obviously have, you know, nice music playing at your campsite, that sort of thing. Check it out. They do a pretty good range of all sorts of bits and pieces, little fold-out tables and stuff like that as well. So we're going to pack that away and get out of here because it is starting to get ridiculously hot, and we're going to just slowly make our way back up, and we're going to head home. So thank you very much for watching. Comment below and let me know, do you use a stretcher? If you do, what brand are you happy with it? That sort of thing. I'm always keen to see what other people do for their camp setup. So don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for regular updates. I just want to say how much I do appreciate everyone watching and interacting with the channel and the pages. Very humbled. Really appreciate the support. So thanks very much. Don't forget, sweat in my eyes, hit the subscribe button, costs nothing, and it helps the channel grow and inspires me to bring more content like this. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thank you very much for watching. Remember, stress less, camp more. Cheers, guys. It's actually a really good sized bag, that too. Plenty of room in it, not too small and too tight like a lot of them.